take your questions, and I appreciate my other colleagues joining us today. We'll start right here.
Yeah, what evidence do you have that some Chinese?
The policies are very clearly Secretary Mayorkas's, and he's been made aware multiple times of what has happened. The Senate's hearings, too, have been very comprehensive with him, pointing out his own failure to understand what's going on at the border, et cetera. But they've educated him in the process, and he has not acted. So I believe that the major fault lies with Alejandro Mayorkas. In terms of the verification that the individuals being released into the United States come from or have ties to the PLA, it came from a sector chief, and I'm going to leave it at that at this point. We have a classified briefing coming up on it in the very near future. Right here.
Thank you, Chairman Green.
You know, my history as a soldier informs my decisions on this. When a rifle platoon leader isn't using his machine guns well, you don't take the machine guns away from him. You teach him how to use them, or you hold him accountable, or you find a new platoon leader. In this case, we're not going to take the resources away from CBP. They need the appropriations to do their job. In fact, the Border Patrol specifically has been leaving in droves because of the pay discrepancies between them and other members of DHS. So we actually, in our bill that Representative Lee talked about, plussed up a bonus for those guys because, look, they're doing yeoman's work. The last thing we're going to do is hurt those guys. We want to help them. We want to do more for them, more than the Secretary's done.
We're not talking about taking away the resources, more like
No, we're gonna hold the Secretary accountable for his failures, and we're gonna go about it that way, right here.
Do you think there were enough Republicans
You know, we haven't even gotten to that word, that process. Our goal here is we're starting with what you have here, and we're going to get more information about the failures of this secretary. And when we're done, um, we'll make a recommendations to the Judiciary Committee, one way or the other, and we'll see what they have to say.
Can I just follow up?
Yeah. Yeah, I've just kept Chairman Jordan informed in what we're doing, and we as chairman sit down and talk about what we're doing amongst all of the committees, and sometimes there's a little overlap, so you have to deconflict that. Like everywhere, we all want to kind of take care of our stuff, but Chairman Jordan and I talk weekly about that stuff. Also, Chairman Comer, the three of us kind of looking at some of this stuff. So. In the back, yes, ma'am. Well, the legal basis is the violation of the law, lying to Congress. Those are all dereliction of duty. They qualify by the definition of dereliction of duty, whether you look at University of Cornell or Cornell University's definition in their law department, or you look at the United States military's definition in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. What this guy's done, no officer gets to lie to his superior. No officer gets to lie to his, equal. You can't do that. That's a dereliction of your duty. You can't fail to do your job. His job is to secure the border of the United States. He's failed to do that. And if you think 107,000 dead Americans and 6.2 plus 1.5, that's 7.7, if I'm doing my math right, million more people, 30-something states are smaller than that, into the United States, sapping the resources of communities. the parents in Yuma, Arizona, having to go 200 miles to deliver their babies because their hospital's overwhelmed. The dead Americans from the crime that happens. Think of that sheriff's deputy. I mean, the United States is not secure. His job is to secure the United States. He's failed. That's a dereliction of his duty. I don't see. I don't see a. I mean, I guess I don't understand the question, because when I think of 107,000 dead Americans in 1 year, I don't think this is a policy thing. He either is successful in protecting the American people or he isn't, and he clearly isn't. So, and I want to give the opportunity for my colleagues if y'all have questions for them. Yes, sir, right here.
For Americans that are at home watching this right now, what do you have to say to them about the timing of this announcement and really ramping up this investigation, and why didn't this happen in January, February, right after Republicans?
Well, our priority at first was to get to the border and see what was going on. And we took our border boot camp down there, and then we did a hearing on the border. And then we realized the first thing we had to do is write the bill, right? So, I mean, we had to take action to actually secure the border. So we passed, and that was not without, some challenges getting that all put together, as you guys appropriately reported. But once that was done, we immediately started directing our attention to holding Americans accountable. So I think our timing has been about right. It was an accident that today, we did this and put it on the calendar for the 14th, and then I realized that's the birthday of the United States Army. Perfect, to talk about dereliction of duty after having served for 24 years. I mean, I took the oath when I was 17 at West Point to defend the Constitution of the United States. It's very interesting, the oath, and Mayorkas' oath is the same, right? It's not to the geography of America. It's not to the flag. It's to the Constitution, the idea of America, and to the way the Constitution orchestrates how the government is to work. That is, Congress writes the law. Brilliant separation of powers. They execute the laws. Mayorkas has written the laws. He's undone the laws without anything in Congress having ever been passed. So, yes, ma'am. If you guys want to chime in, just tap me on the back and jump in and answer a question. It's up to them.
A timeline for when you're going to be moving to the 5 phases, and if do you think you'll be in position to make a call on recommending or not recommending something?
I'll give you a prediction, and I'm not usually prone to doing that when asked by reporters if I should give a prediction, but I would say it's probably going to take about 11 to 12 weeks. That's our front end sort of look, but what we will hold the liberty to do is if there's something else that we need to dig into, delaying a phase. The one that's really going to be challenging from a fact-finding basis is the financial phase, understanding the costs, because we're trying to go to county jails that have illegals that they're having to house, and the local county taxpayers are having to, foot the bill for that. We're going to hospitals all over America and trying to document the uncompensated health care costs that are just going to be transferred to taxpayers. So we want to put a price tag on this, and that may take longer than what we're predicting it'll take, but we'll take whatever time we need. Right here, I gave you one already. Oh, they're in the packet that we get. Yeah.
Thank you. I want to ask, so you said, I know there's a lot of questions about impeachment. You have gotten to that part of that process, but I mean, one of your own members, Martha Taylor Greene, filed an inquiry last week. I asked her yesterday, and she said the hearing today, she wanted to be the start of the conference getting on board. So is there a discrepancy in terms of, I don't know, what timeline your members want on your committee and push?
I would think that you guys are, it's intuitively obvious that Republicans are independent thinkers, right, from the past few weeks. I mean, would you agree? I would say it's intuitively obvious to the casual observer that Republicans are individualists and we think independently. We're not robots being told by a speaker how to vote. And so there are many people with differences of opinions about this. And, I'm in a leadership position. And from my leadership position, the direction of our committee is to get to the facts. So we got time for maybe one or two more? Is that right? Where are we doing? Okay, right here. Yeah, look, all I know today is what I can make a decision on today, and I have a responsibility to the people of America. This guy's failing. He's put Americans at risk. I mean, look at that chart. Look at those past several years, very statistically insignificant difference, right? Look at the last year. This fiscal year, I mean, there's something going on here. All on Mayorkas's watch, threatening the national security of the United States. The guy's got to go. Okay, I mean, we're going to hold him accountable, and that's if the president picks another guy that does this kind of stuff, we'll do what we have to do there too.
Yeah.
How are you gonna get all that done?
We got a great bill done. Check box on the first one. We're starting accountability of Mayorkas, and simultaneously we're working on the cyber stuff right now. You know, one of the things, and I don't think I've actually said this in the press, but one of the things we want to do is create something very similar to the ROTC program for cybersecurity professionals. And we think we've got a way to pay for it, but we're 700,000 cybersecurity experts short in this country. And so, yes, I can't juggle, but I can juggle, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, we'll get it done. Other questions? Maybe one more? Any for these guys? Somebody want to answer? We'll come back to you, and that'll be it.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. Ultimately, do you think the buck stops with the president? You know, I know you were saying no to no at the moment for impeaching Mayorkas, but what about impeaching Biden? If not impeaching Biden, how to hold Biden accountable since the buck should the buck usually stops with the president?
Well, very clearly, there's a concern about that. We're going to dig into the policies of the secretary, and we're going to hold him accountable. You know, I think the American people getting educated on this, looking and seeing if some of this has been directed from the president. I mean, maybe we find out that we'll act. But right now, we know the decisions being executed from the secretary to the field are what's causing the problem, and that's where we're going to focus our attention today. Now, again, we may discover that the president directed all this, and that's the case, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But my guess is, honestly, in my observations of President Biden, he probably doesn't know all the stuff we're going to show in this report. And I hope when he hears all this, when he sees all this, that he'll act responsibly and take care of the problem. So, all right, guys, thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all.